What's up, market snipers? This is Jesse. Welcome back. This is going to be a quick Bitcoin update based off the weekly chart, based off the newsletter. So if you're not following me over the newsletter, I did a full write-up over there and I just sent it out. So definitely go find me over there. We just did a Bitcoin video update 2 days ago based off of the daily chart and the daily sell signal. So definitely go take a look at that video over there from 2 days ago and smash that like button over there. Smash the like button on this one as well. Like I said, we're going to cover Bitcoin. Also in the newsletter, we talked about the NASDAQ potentially about to sell off right now as well. It's super early. There's not even a sell signal yet. So I did a full write-up on that in the newsletter. Also, I covered DOT for the crypto section and then the opportunity alert, right? So I just posted another opportunity alert. All the details, all the full write-ups over there. You can find it over here by going to Market Sniper Pro website from the Market Sniper Twitter. You can scroll down and see the free newsletter down here. Just type in your email over there and hit that subscribe button. Or you can come over here to my main account and you can see right here, free newsletter, the indicator.pro. And then you can see all the old free newsletters over there as well. So let's jump into it. What I was putting out there is that last week, as we know, because we've been doing updates, we've been doing live streams. There's no live stream today on a Monday. Felt kind of weird, right? Felt kind of weird. But the stock market is closed, so our streak has not been ended. Our streak continues after our streak was broken after 75. So we'll be back on it again tomorrow, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Whether you're the live crew or the replay crew, we hope to see you there. So this is Bitcoin, right? If we take off the sharpshooter candles just for a second, I want to point out this big wick up here up to $49,000. And then what I always say, it's not how the candle starts, but it's how it closes, right? So it started off all the way up at $49,000. People were really excited. The bulls, the perma bulls, were out in full force. They were super pumped up. They thought we were going straight to $55,000, $60,000. And instead, you know, upon the ETFs getting approved, I put out a newsletter based off of the 11 ETFs approved. So if you want to go take a look at what those ticker symbols are and the name of those ETFs, I put that all in the newsletter over here. So you go definitely take a look at that over there. You can see 11 Bitcoin ETFs approved. That was from 5 days ago. And I listed out all the ticker symbols and the names of those ETFs over there. So definitely go take a look at it. So we talked about it. We covered it. If we drop down the daily chart, in that video, we were talking about how this candle up here started with the wick all the way to 49,000 on Thursday and then closed bearish, right? That I was calling that out and I was telling people that, and you, all of you, that, hey, this is a bearish looking candle, right? It's a bearish looking candle. We had bearish divergence going all the way back. And now, you know, we already talked about that, right? So now that same bearish candle we're looking at here on the weekly chart started with the wick, closed bearish. You can even see that's a bearish engulfing candle, engulfs this candle body here with the larger body there. That's also a bearish engulfing candle. And what we talked about on the previous video was MicroStrategy on the daily chart had the same wick back on January 2nd. And was that a leading indicator, right? That's what we kept asking. Was this going to be a leading indicator? Lo and behold, it seems like it's going to be a leading indicator. Had that wick closed below like that. If you look at the weekly chart, just dropping straight down, close this gap at 530 already. And we have sniper targets on that. We've already shown and talked about it as well. So back to Bitcoin, that wick, bearish candle close, back to the weekly chart. That's what this whole video is about, plus all the other things we quickly mentioned over in the newsletter. So wick closed bearish like that. Throw this on. You could even see that price is overbought on the weekly candles going all the way back to October, right? So all the way back to October. And then this candle closed, instead of orange, it closed green. So it lines up very closely with the red bearish candle as well. Even on the indicator showing that it went from overbought and AKA ultra bullish to just being bullish, right? So close back below it. It could be starting with another wick, Maybe it just goes sideways for a week or two. Who knows? Lets the trending dots kind of catch up. And then maybe it goes through a deeper correction at that point. We don't think it's going to happen overnight. We've already laid out all the targets and we've been talking about it and covering it. And so we're going to drop down to the daily chart right now. So here we are on the daily chart. We've been drawing this out. I even posted on Twitter, but on the live streams all the way back to December 7th, we were drawing this out as a potential. We drew out two scenarios. One, where price would come all the way up and hit target 4 and then go through a correction, or two, it wouldn't go up and hit target 4 and would just put in lower highs. So I always do that. Put in lower highs and then start to break down. Well, guess what? It went up and hit longer term target 4, which we drew out from the very bottoms, right? We drew that out back in December and January of 2022, 2023. It's all documented. And here we are hitting 4 out of 4 longer term targets, came all the way up. And then after that bearish candle on the 11th, the 12th, we saw a sell signal very similar to MicroStrategy, right? So it doesn't mean it's going to play out exactly. So I kind of drew this out. Doesn't mean it couldn't come up higher, right? Puts in a lower high and then breaks back down. I don't think it goes up as high. I think it's probably maybe price retraces back into those trending dots, let those trending dots kind of catch up. Maybe it lines up with that trend line over the next couple of days, right? Could take a couple of days to play out, where it gets a little bit of a bounce back into the trending dots and that trend line. And then it starts to kind of roll over after that. Maybe it takes a few days to play out. Even if you're following the cursor down, it looks like it's like January 22nd. So maybe it even takes a week, right? And then you could start to see a bigger move to the downside, possibly hit target 1, possibly hit target 2. Who knows if it bounces from there or if it goes straight down to target 3. If you look at MicroStrategy, it went straight down, right? So it went straight down and it hit 3 of the 4 targets to the downside. We've got this red arrow here. If it doesn't find support at target 4, then we're expecting this gap to get filled down here, 384. And if that doesn't fill and that's all it is, maybe just then it will find support at the 200-week moving average, unless the 200-week moving average is right around where the gap is. So that could be, is MicroStrategy going to let us know where price is going to hit on Bitcoin? That would be crazy if it does. We're not fully expecting it to be exactly the same, but it's possible it just kind of puts in like this bear flag coming back up into the trading dots, get some sort of a retracement from that huge move down, and then maybe it's something like that. Of course, it could be a little bit higher, or it could be a little bit lower, right? But I'm pretty much expecting it kind of like that, and then we'll see if it comes down, breaks down, and then hits target 1, target 2. So all this isn't to say that because I'm shorting it, it's for the next possible buy the dip opportunity. So that's what we're kind of watching over here for, that next possible buy the dip opportunity. We've been talking about it. We've been covering it. Would we see a bigger correction prior to the halving? The halving's laid out over here mid-April. It's currently estimated to be April 17th. It's been switching back from the 13th to the 18th to 17th. We'll keep an eye on it. It's not that big of a deal at the end of the day. Just thought it was going to be some sort of a buy the dip scenario prior to the next halving. And just then, maybe we'll get that full bull run. So with that, let's move over to NASDAQ. We're not going to spend as much time on the NASDAQ because we're going to probably cover it on the live stream again tomorrow. And I want to keep this a little bit more about Bitcoin. But we called out bearish divergence back here. Price is starting to break down. Candle closed below the trending dots, below the upward trend line, drawn all the way back from October 26th, where I took profits on my last NASDAQ short, right? My last major NASDAQ short from the 12th to the 26th, right? And then as it was breaking down, we had a sell signal, but then you had like this wick, and it was looking like it's possibly finding bottom temporarily at target 1. And we talked about, hey, we're expecting, if price is going to come down and hit lower targets like target 2 or target 3 or target 4, or possibly even go lower, it's always a possibility, right? Then we'd expect a lower high to get put in. So if this is bearish divergence, break down to target 1, looks like it might be putting in a lower high. Obviously too early to call it on the higher time frames, but it's starting to look like it's breaking down. If we start dropping down the 8-hour chart, it could get an 8-hour candle close back below the trending dots. Then the probabilities are starting to increase. If you look at the 4-hour chart, multiple candle closes below the trending dots. Got a red trending dot there. Price never came back up, re-hit that, right? You have to drop down to even lower time frame. And then you got a sell signal on the 2-hour chart there, right? So again, bearish divergence even on the 2-hour chart. And then a sell signal, battled back up, could be putting a lower high on the 2-hour chart, right? So that is a big move down, even on the 2-hour chart. Could be kind of retracing back up, similar to like Bitcoin, what we just talked about, puts in another lower high on these lower time frames. But on these higher time frames, could get that first candle close on the 8-hour chart back below the trending dots. And then that would be the higher probability that this is going to be a lower high. Of course, it's not confirmed until it takes out this pivot point here. But who's waiting for that, right? If you're waiting for that, you're not a swing trader, because that would be too much, right? You're going to miss the bulk of the move, in my humble opinion, right? All right, so that's NASDAQ. That's what we're looking at. Two more I want to cover. DOT. And the reason why I'm covering DOT is because it's on our Sniper Top 40 watch list and on our bot alerts over there on DOT. So if you're in the recorded coaching, we have bot alerts that tell us when it's a potential buy or potential sell. And then you still have to go in there and chart it out based off of what I've taught on my own personal strategy. So this is it on DOT. And the other reason why I'm pointing out DOT and not all the crypto assets, because it starts looking very similar to all the crypto assets. So I could post 20, 50 charts that all look very similar, but to save time, they're all going to be very similar, right? So if you take a look at it, we've got bearish divergence November 12th. We got bearish divergence December 10th, going all the back December 25th, right? And that was the end of the bearish divergence, going all the way back to December 25th. Here we are, January 15th. Price started to break back down. Price was looking like it was putting in a lower high. It did. There was a sell signal and took out this pivot point, right? So took out this candle here, took out this pivot and had a sell signal. Price tried to pump back up, came back down to this target 2 twice, double wick bottom, push all the way back up. We talked about it could be putting in a lower high. It's starting to look like more and more that it's putting in a lower high. So we'll find out if price comes back down. Hits target 3. The reason why this box is yellow is because there was 2 sniper targets, confluence area down here. And so I really like this target box down here. Doesn't mean it's going to hit it with 100% certainty, right? Doesn't mean it's going to, but I really like that yellow box there. And of course, we've got this 4th target box down here for a reason. So we'll see if any of these lower targets get hit. And then we're looking at the next possible buy the dip scenario, whether it's here, whether it's here, or whether it's down way back down here, and then get ready for that next full bull run, similar to Bitcoin. Let Bitcoin kind of lead the way. You can see that maybe this is like mid-February, and maybe Bitcoin takes off to the upside after that. One last one, the opportunity alert, right? Let's switch over to the weekly chart. Here's the opportunity alert. Let's take all this off real quick. Just to kind of do a quick recap, we're already at 13 and a half minutes. And I just want to spend another minute and a half over here. There are a lot of similarities to the patterns and the way that UNG, United States Natural Gas Fund, played out, similar to Bitcoin. Yes, I said it, folks. Similar to Bitcoin, right? So Bitcoin had this pump up, came back down, right, back in 2021, and then pumped back up for a second top, slightly higher, put in bearish divergence, corrected down, had this exact same or similar looking like pump up here, and then came all the way back down in the bear market, even had longer term bullish divergence, right? Even had longer term bullish divergence. So what if UNG hits 4 out of 4 longer term targets similar to Bitcoin? That would be amazing. Maybe you aren't getting too excited. Maybe not. But I played this on natural gas futures, which is 10x leverage. I played this on stock options, which is more than 10x leverage. So that's why I'm getting excited. But let's put on these targets here and just kind of map it out. So I kind of drew this downward trend line. There's a touch point there, and there's a touch point down there. I like that. and then there's a weekly close back above, and then a close just right at the trending dots, and then we got a weekly close back above the trending dots and a buy signal. Obviously, there's long-term bullish divergence, and a more defined higher low would be the higher probability, but it might not be until it's back up here, right? So I put this arrow up. Also, another milestone would be a weekly candle close back above 771. But if you're a swing trader, you're probably not waiting for that, right? So, or if you're a long-term investor. So here's the opportunity, right? Even from the weekly buy signal, and I put even in the notes on the cautions is that on the lower time frames, it could come back down for a little bit of a retracement first and then come back up. Maybe not. The only reason why I say that is because the daily chart is ultra bullish, and the daily chart, and a lot of times, not always, but a lot of times the weekly candle might start with a little bit of a retracement with a wick down and then finish positive to the upside, right? So we just had a weekly candle close with a buy signal. It's possible it puts in a small wick to the downside and then pumps back up to the upside, right? So it could even gap down, say tomorrow, a little bit, and then take a couple of days for it to get kind of turned back around on the daily chart. So what do I mean is, what if, of course it could gap up too, right? But what if it kind of, here, let me do this. What if it kind of gapped down just a little bit or came back down these trend dots all next week, and then just closes back up with a positive weekly candle up there like that? It is possible, right? And then this would be another milestone. So if it does just pump straight up, comes back down and goes something like that, right? That would be another milestone move. And that's why I put that arrow out there as another milestone and or a higher probability that, hey, it took out this pivot point here, and then it'll probably put in a higher low there. Who knows? Or maybe the higher low is over here. So that is the opportunity alert, the weekly chart there, and the possibility is from current price at $6.78. Let's call it target one, 79% with no leverage, right? With no leverage, 135% with no leverage. We're talking about 185% with no leverage. Talking about 250% with no leverage on natural gas, with United States Natural Gas Fund, and or probably looking very similar on the natural gas futures over there, and probably anything else that looks like that. So with that, please feel free to smash that like button. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, whatever, and let me know if you have any follow-up questions on this. With that, I'm going to get this video out. I'm going to get the free newsletter out, and we're going to rock and roll on the live stream tomorrow at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. With that, thank you so much. I appreciate you, and we'll see you tomorrow.